All right, so today we're going to be looking at two-step equations. So we're going to look at a few examples and our justifications to go with those. So looking at our first problem, we have -1 minus p is equal to 4. Now for this problem, p is in fact our variable, and we need to get that all by itself. So to start, we're going to add 1 to both sides. Remember, we start from the outside and we work our way to the variable. So that -1 is furthest away. So we're going to start with that. So we're going to add 1 to the other side. Those cancel out. Awesome. That's what we wanted. And we have -p is equal to 4 plus 1 gives us 5. Now, in that step, we were using addition. See how we added that 1? Since in that step we were using addition, that is our addition property. Now, our variable still isn't all by itself. It still has a negative with it. So remember, anytime we have a negative in front of a variable like this, there's really a -1 right here. Okay, there's always going to be that -1 in front of the variable if you have that negative sign. So we need to get rid of the -1. The -1 and the p are being multiplied, so we're going to use division to get it away. So we're going to divide both sides by a -1. When we do this, the -1s will cancel, and I'll have p is equal to 5 divided by a -1 gives me a -5. Our variable is all by itself, so that means that's great. We're done with that part. We just need to tell what we did in that step, and in that step we use division. So that means we're using our division property. Now remember, if you think I'm writing too fast or you have questions, make sure you're hitting pause. Ask me those questions. All right, the next one, we have -5 plus x divided by 7 is equal to -9. So on this one, our variable is our x. So that means we need to start from the outside and work our way to the x, okay? So we're going to start from the outside. So that means the first thing we need to deal with is this -5. Okay, so to get rid of the -5, it's negative. Okay, so that's like a minus sign. That's like subtraction. And the inverse of subtraction is addition. So that means we're going to add 5 to both sides. When that happens, that cancels. That goes away. So I'll just have x over 7. I just brought down the rest of the problem, is equal to -9 plus 5 gives us -4. Now, in that step, we were using addition. See how we were adding the 5? Since we were using addition, that's our addition property. All right, so next part we've got is we still have x divided by 7. Okay, our variable is being divided by 7, and we need to get rid of that. So to get rid of that, we are going to change my colors real quick. We're going to multiply both sides by 7 because that's the inverse of division. So when we do that, that cancels. So I just have x's left over equals -4 times 7 gives us -28. So we need to say what were we actually doing in that step? Well, in that step, we were using division. So since or not division, my bad, we were using multiplication. So since that's what we were using our multiplication property. All right, so moving on to the next one. We have 4y minus 4 is equal to 8. 4y minus 4 is equal to 8. So on this one, we need to start from the outside and work our way in. So that means we're going to start by trying to get rid of this negative 4. So to do that, we're subtracting the 4, so we want to use the opposite of that. So that means we're going to add 4 to the other side. When we do that, the 4's cancel. That's great. That's what we wanted. So all we have left is 4y is equal to 8 plus 4 gives me 12. In that step, we were using addition. So that means this was our addition property. Now the y is almost all by itself, not quite yet, but it's almost there. So that means we need to get rid of this 4 right here. The 4 and the y are being multiplied together. So since they're being multiplied, we need to use the inverse of that, which is division. So that means we're going to divide both sides by 4. Remember, if I divide one side, you have to divide the other. When I do that, the 4's cancel. And I'll have y is equal to 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. In that step, we were using division. And since we were using division, that's going to be our division property. All right, go ahead and get that copy down, and then we are moving to the next page. Remember, if you think I'm writing a little too fast, just go ahead and hit pause. Okay, and you can go back. All right, so looking at number 4, I want you to try this one on your own. Okay, so try this one on your own, and then you can check your work with mine when you're finished. All right, so I hope you tried that one on your own. Okay, so the very first thing you should have done is subtract the 10 to the other side. Okay, we know that we're adding 10, so we need to get rid of it. So we got to do the opposite or the inverse of that. Subtract the 10 to the other side, and that's using our subtraction property. When we do that, we get negative 3x is equal to negative 15. Now, the x isn't quite all by itself. It still has that negative 3 there. So we divide out the negative 3. When we do that, the negative 3's will cancel. So those will cancel out. So I'll get x is equal to negative 15 divided by negative 3 gives me a positive 5. And in that step, I was using my division property. All right, so we're going to stop there today. Okay, I feel like we've done enough of these problems. So we're going to stop there today on that, and then you can move on to your assignment.